Hello friends, it's Pastor Jeff here at Springsford Baptist Church giving you our midweek update for Wednesday, May the 13th, 2020. I've got several announcements to share with you. I want to go over just some business matters with you as well, and then a short devotional thought as we conclude up today. First of all, we need to know what's happening this week and hopefully coming up very soon in weeks to come. We are planning to have an outdoor worship service this coming Sunday evening, 6 p.m. here at the church. We will meet in the outside behind the main building, down at the basement level, out in the field behind the church. We're asking all of you to bring your own lawn chairs. We're not going to provide chairs to you, so you'll need to bring yourself a chair to sit in, or if you'd like to stay in your car, you can do that. We'll try to reserve those parking spaces close to the field for those who wish to remain in their car, and you can roll your window down. And so that will be 6 o'clock this coming Sunday evening. Bring your own chair. The building will be closed off, although we will have two of the downstairs restrooms open, but we're asking that you only use those if it is a genuine emergency. Please try to take care of that need before you leave the house, and hopefully you'll be able to hang on until you get back home. The fewer people we can have in the building, the better off we're going to be. So I look forward to seeing some of you face to face and in person. But listen, when we get here, we've got to do a couple of things. Number one, it's a good idea for you to continue to wear a mask. That's going to be sort of the normal thing around here. And I know that there are a lot of people out in the world that aren't doing that. I was out at the store yesterday, and I was one of the only people besides the staff of the store who was wearing a mask. But please wear a mask if you have one. We're also going to ask that you do not touch anyone else unless they're part of your immediate family, people that you live with. No handshakes, no hugs, that kind of thing. And we've got to keep our distance from one another. If we can't do this right, we're not going to be able to do it at all. And so for us to be able to have a service where we can be together, we've all got to cooperate and we've got to follow the rules. So I hope that we will see you this coming Sunday night at 6 p.m. out behind the church. Bring yourself a lawn chair. The service will take about half an hour. We'll sing a little bit, and we'll have probably a time for brief testimonies, and I'll share a brief devotional thought, but we'll be fairly quick about it when we're done. Then we are aiming for reopening on Sunday mornings for morning worship, hopefully on May the 24th. Of course, that depends on what Governor Cooper allows, but if we are able to move into his quote-unquote phase 2 on May the 22nd, which is their target date, then we should be able to have morning worship here on May the 24th. That is still a very big maybe, but we're gearing up for that. We're getting the building ready for that. So if we're able to do that, we will let you know for sure. Now that will mean once we're able to do that, if it does happen to be on the 24th, we will have Sunday morning service at 11 a.m. only. We'll open up the building about 10:50. We're going to ask that you not get here early, that you not stand outside and fellowship in the parking lot. We'll open up the building. We'll have the service less than an hour. We'll probably need to have a brief business meeting at the end of that service to take care of some business that the church needs to conduct. We'll do that. That'll be our regular business meeting Sunday anyway. But then we're going to get you out of here by noon, Lord willing. And so that hopefully will happen on May the 24th. But stay tuned. We will let you know for sure when we're able to know for sure. Youth camp is still all systems go. We plan to go on our youth camp from June the 15th through the 19th. That's up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We've got 10 students and several chaperones that are signed up for that trip. If you have signed up and for whatever reason you don't want to go, we will understand that. Normally our deposits are non-refundable, but we will refund you your money if you've paid to go and you've changed your mind. If we have any youth that would like to go, we still have some spots available. We're doing our own camp this year, so as long as we have a bed available, we can take some extras, and we'd love to have you. You have to be finished with 7th grade, but if you're finished through 7th grade or older and would like to go to camp this year, then you talk with one of our youth leaders or give me a call, and we can work that out for you. We are planning to have a graduate recognition service on Sunday, June the 7th. Now, there'll actually be 2 parts to that service. We will honor the grads briefly during our Sunday morning service together on June the 7th. Those that are present will receive their gift from the church. Our high school grads will get their Bible and their walking stick. We have a little something for our college grads as well. We'll just recognize them. It won't be quite as formal as it has been in years past because we're trying to streamline everything. But then that evening at 6 p.m., we will have a full-fledged graduation ceremony. That service will only be for the graduates, their families, and a few invited guests. We will live stream it though. All of the services that we're going to have, we're going to live stream for the near future and maybe going on indefinitely. But we'll have that service on the 7th of June, 6 p.m. that Sunday evening to honor our graduates, present them with a certificate. They'll wear their caps and gowns and have a chance to walk across the stage. We'll also have an opportunity for folks to make photos there. So that should be an exciting thing. I think we've heard from most of our grads, but if you have a graduate that if you have not been contacted, please let us know. We would love to include you. That would include high school graduates, college graduates, and we're also honoring during our graduation service that evening those who are graduating from kindergarten. So right now we've got 5 of our kindergartners who have signed up to come. If you know of a kindergarten graduate within our church that we've missed, please let us know and invite them. Have them give me a call and we'll get them added to the program. Finally, we do have some financial reports that were emailed out to you. I believe you should have received those in your email on Tuesday morning. So let me go through those very, very briefly. Again, whatever Sunday we are able to come back together, we will have to have a business conference. There are a few items that will need to be voted on by the congregation, and we will do that as soon as we can. So be aware of that. Nothing particularly exciting, mostly just very routine business. I'll go through some of that here in just a moment, but we do need to have a formal vote on a few things. One is we will vote on this financial report that I'm going through right now, assuming that we're able to be together before the next financial report comes out. You never really got the financial report for February. We had those printed, but we weren't able to give those out to you because that's when in March is when we started canceling services. Then March's financial statements were emailed to you in early April, and now you've got the April financial statements to you now that it's May. So we're a month behind on our financial statements always. That's how it works. So this is the financial statement for April of 2020. You have been very faithful to give. If you want to pull those up and look at them, then I'm looking at the income and expense statement that was emailed out. In April, we received $17,637 in tithes and offerings. And folks, I want to tell you that is a remarkable number. To be honest with you, it's the first month that we've had that we've been above budget in our giving. Even when we were meeting face to face here, we weren't quite making our budget, but April was a great month of giving. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And so gifts were $17,637. Total expenses, which are on the bottom of the second page of that part of the report, were just under $15,000, so $14,963. So we actually cleared $2,673 above what we took in. So in other words, we spent out less than we received. We received more than we spent out. So that's a good thing. What that means for our general fund is that at the end of April, our general fund was at $11,301.22. That's up from $8,600 and change at the beginning of the month. And so again, for the month, we show a gain in that department. That's a great thing. You should know that we've not touched a dime of our rainy day fund, even by missing services for so many weeks in a row. Our rainy day fund remains fully intact. Our other funds are doing well also. So that's just the basics of the information there. You have the financial report that was emailed to you. If you have any specific questions, you can contact me. You can contact Takina Brefka. Junior Lafone can answer your questions, or you can call our treasurer, Donald Ritchie, and they'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have with that. We have some items happening here at the church. Again, when we meet together, we'll need to formally approve these things, but let me go ahead and mention them now so that you'll know that. We are installing an internet connection into the sanctuary so that we can have Wi-Fi and internet up here at the main building. That's a separate account from what we have down at the office. And so that will be a new monthly expense. We've just sort of in an emergency fashion approved the installation of that, and the first few months of service for that. We paid a $99 installation fee, and then it's about $75, give or take, a month. I think it may actually be $71 and change a month. That will be our monthly fee for that internet connection. That will wind up being an ongoing expense. Again, sort of in an emergency session with our budget and finance folks, we've approved that on a temporary basis. When we come back together, we will issue that for a formal church vote. I think that'll be a nice thing to have. Certainly, if we're going to continue to offer live streaming of our services, we're going to have that internet connection up there so that we can make that happen. I'm here right now in the fellowship hall. We're able to connect to the signal from the office up here in the fellowship hall, but once I move about 5 feet behind me, that signal goes away. And so in order for us to live stream from the sanctuary, then we're going to have to do that move. And so I hope that you'll approve it, but you vote your conscience when we have a chance to do that. We have a couple other things that have come our way. We've got some decisions regarding Vacation Bible School. And at this point, it sadly looks like we are going to be canceling Vacation Bible School this year. We may want to look at using the money that was budgeted for VBS to do some other things, either some responses to COVID, if there's some special things that have to be done here at the church, or maybe hopefully we can do some sort of other children's activity or something a little bit later in the year, maybe in the later fall for our kids, that we can use some of that money to fund. But right now, the Bible school is not going to happen. And so I regret that, but just want to let you know of that thing. So that's the business that I'm aware of. Again, when we meet together, we'll have a vote to approve the financial report and the addition of the internet and anything else that comes up. You should have received in your newsletter earlier this month a blueprint for reopening. Please read through that. Again, this is our best guess of what we're going to have to do to make things work once we are able to come back together. And so we're going to begin with a soft opening. Hopefully, again, that will be on May the 24th, although that date is not assured yet. It's going to depend on the governor. But when we come back, you need to know that the only rooms that are going to be open are going to be the sanctuary, the restrooms in the front and in the back of the sanctuary, and then we'll have the choir room available if you need to take out a child for some reason for a few moments. But it will not be a gathering space. It's not going to be a teaching space. There will be no children's time. There will be no worship, no nursery, no children's time, no nursery, and no children's church. None of that's going to take place for the first few weeks that we're able to get back together. Hopefully, shortly soon, we'll be able to add Sunday school, Sunday night and Wednesday night, and nursery and all those things back. But it's going to take a little time for us to get back. So when we come back, just be prepared to be in the sanctuary only. And the less you can touch and the fewer places you can go, the better. Again, we're going to streamline the services. The restrooms will be open, but if you really don't have to use them, stay out. Just keep them as clean as possible. And please, if you have a mask, bring and use a mask. Now, having said that, I would like to make some masks available for those who are worshiping with us. And right now I have found some for purchase. I haven't purchased any yet because they're about $1.50 a piece, even for the disposable ones. And so I'm hoping that we might have a few kind people in the church that can cobble together some cloth masks that we can simply distribute to those who don't yet have one that they can wear on Sunday mornings. And so each person would get their own cloth mask and they could take it home and wash it and reuse it from week to week. And hopefully we'll have those on our face every week, probably for 6, 7, 8 weeks. It's going to be different, but be prepared for that. And again, those masks do two things. One, they do provide you with a level of protection for yourself, but more than anything, they protect other people. Should you happen to have the virus, it protects other people from the germs that you have. In fact, it does a better job of protecting others than it does of protecting you. And so when you don't wear a mask, you think, well, I don't need one. Well, maybe you don't. but some of the rest of us might, especially those of us who have people in our lives that may be at high risk. And when we do reopen, if you are in that high risk category, as I've said over and over again, please stay home. We love you and we want to keep you around as long as possible, but what we need for you to do is to be safe and to make wise decisions. We will continue to live stream, again, all of our services so that you can join us through Facebook and be a part of what's happening here, but you keep yourself safe. And if you're not able to be with us, then we certainly understand that. And we wish you the best, and we love you, and we want you to be safe. And so, to me, that raises a question that I want to go to the Scriptures to answer. There are a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about a lot of things in these days that we're living with. And sometimes it's hard to sort through the things that are genuinely wise and the things that are foolish or maybe not as wise. And so the Bible talks about something called wisdom from above. I genuinely believe that there are wise, common sense answers that the Lord will give to the questions that we ask. He won't always answer every question that we have, but for the most part, I think the Lord is very interested in helping us live the best life that we can so that we can be faithful followers of Jesus Christ, so that we can bend our lives in a Godward direction and become the people that He wants us to be. And so with that in mind, in the book of James, James tells us a little bit about what this wisdom from above looks like. He says, the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, then gentle. It is open to reason. It is full of mercy and good fruits. It is impartial and sincere. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. James says that when we're trying to find the answer to our question, when we're trying to figure out what is the wisest thing that I can do. Now, this would apply to any decision that you're going to make. If you're looking for a new job, if you're having trouble at home, if you're having difficulty with your finances and you don't exactly know what to do, here are some very general but very real practical advice that James gives to help us discern the things that are the wisdom that comes from God. When God gives us a direction as to what we ought to do, then this is what it looks like. First of all, that wisdom from above is pure. In other words, it doesn't have any mixture of sin in it. God is never going to ask us to do something that is inherently sinful, right? Then it is peaceable. It brings about a feeling of peace for everyone involved. It doesn't stir up trouble. It doesn't seek to capitalize off of someone else's hurt or to harm someone else. It seeks everyone's best. It's also gentle. And then he says, and I love this part, that it's open to reason. Wisdom that God gives is a reasonable wisdom. In other words, it is open to hearing more information, getting more facts, understanding a better way to do things. It is open to doing things a better way. Then God's wisdom is full of mercy and it's full of good fruits. It is tender-hearted toward those who need to have that tender-heartedness directed at them. And it's full of good fruits. And of course, the good fruits would be the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control that Paul talks about in the book of Galatians. And so when we're trying to find, common sense solutions for how we need to reopen our church or how you need to interact with everything being shut down, and listen, look for solutions that fit these categories, solutions that are pure, that don't involve sinning. If I'm hungry, God is not going to have me rob a grocery store. That's not how He's going to fix my hunger problem. If I'm upset with someone, God's not going to have me pop them in the nose with a fist. That's not a pure thing. It's not a peaceable thing. Because of that, it's not the wise way to go forward. And so when you're looking for advice, and again, there are a lot of people out there with a lot of advices about what we ought to do, how we ought to proceed, you ought to filter that advice through James chapter 3, verses 17 and 18. You ought to filter that advice through what James tells us here and ask yourself, is the advice that they're giving you, first of all, is it pure? Is it peaceable? Is it full of mercy? Is it open to reason? Is it full of good fruits? Is it gentle? Because if it fails on that test, then whatever the solution might be, it's not God's solution. Just before that, he tells us about what the wisdom from below looks like, and he's got a long list of things that it's like. It is bitter jealousy, selfish ambition, boasting, false truth, earthly wisdom, unspiritual, demonic, jealousy, so on and so forth, disorder, every evil practice. A lot of the advice that people are giving, quite frankly, fits more of that description than it does the description of the wisdom from above. We need to be very careful here that not only are we looking out for our own best interest, but we need to make sure that we're doing things in accordance with God's Word. God is building us through these difficult days. And so as we look for suggestions on what we need to do next, and as I'm praying through, Lord, what is it that we need to do to reopen our church, then I'm asking myself these questions. God, what is the wisest thing to do? What is the purest thing to do? What is the gentlest thing to do? What is the thing that shows the most mercy? What is the thing that bears the most good fruit? What is the thing that is open to reason? And as I've said before many times, I'm always open to another good idea. And so I pray that what we're doing is the right thing. More importantly, I pray that it's the kind of thing that God would expect of us. And so we want to pass all of our decisions through that filter of the wisdom from above. So read that for yourselves from James chapter 3. Again, it's verses 17 and 18. James 3, verse 17 and 18. And pray about those things and think about those things. Well, friend, I can't wait to see a few of you Sunday night. I hope that works well. Listen, if it's pouring rain, we'll have to cancel. We're not going to come in the building, but hopefully things will be well. We'll let you know for sure Sunday morning. We will still have our Sunday morning Facebook Live worship service at 11 o'clock. I will see you online then. And then again, I hope that I can see some of you Sunday evening, those of you who are healthy enough to come, and we'll have a brief time of worship together Sunday evening. The goal is that we will continue having those Sunday evening outside gatherings as long as we're not able to be together inside on Sunday morning. So we may only have the one if we're then able to open up the next week, but we'll let you know for sure. Again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for those of you who are praying for me. I know many of you are, and I'm praying for you as well. I feel your prayers. I hope that you feel mine. And I love you, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.